Hi guys, today I want to share with you how I prune my tomatoes. Now there's many different ways that people prune their tomatoes. I live somewhere where we have a short growing season, just over 100 days. We live in a cold climate, zone 3, and I need to, here at the end of July, really think about pruning off a lot of the things that are starting to grow in order to ensure that I actually have a harvest of tomatoes, because we can get a frost as early as the middle of September. If you're new here, my name is Kayla, and this is 5 Canadian Acres, where I'm trying to encourage everybody to grow their own food and really just simplify the process and realize that how easy it really can be. At this point in the season, at the end of July here, I really am going to do a good prune to get everything cleared up and just let what has established continue to grow, because any branch that has not put on a blossom by now probably will not produce me a nice ripe tomato in 6-7 weeks that we have left. So I'm just going to leave on the blossoms that are already there and any tomatoes that are already there, of course. So I'll get here and show you. Now these, it looks like a jungle. Things just grow like crazy. We've had some really nice heat. But as you can see, I've tied these all up here. And as you can see, I've already trimmed off a lot of these bottom leaves, but I've left on the blossoms here. Hopefully I will get some tomatoes from those. See these ones here, they already have some nice little tomatoes, so I'm gonna leave those. If we go over to this plant though, you can see it's got what's called a sucker coming out of the bottom. So that's gonna try to produce more flowers and more fruit. So I'm not really gonna get very much fruit off of this one here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it off. Like that. You can throw it in your compost. And you can see there's another couple ones over here that, again, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off. And actually they kind of go all the way up here. So these two here, again, are suckers. So I'm just going to go ahead, cut that one off, cut this one off. If I lived in an area where we had a very longer growing season, you can leave some of these on. Over here, there's another one here shooting up. And the sooner you cut these off, the better, so it doesn't waste energy. If you wait and let them grow a lot and then cut them off, that's just kind of wasting your plant's energy. Now, as you come up the plant, you can see this one here has flowers, so I'm going to leave that one. The other thing I like to do is any sort of leaf that's in, say, the bottom foot and a half, I will trim off. You can use scissors, clippers, or if you pull up, they pop right off too. I will go around all my plants and anything that's down here, I'm going to just pull off. And you can see there's a little sucker here as well. I can just pinch that right off. Back in here, another little sucker. And like I had mentioned, we're at the end of July here, so I'm going to go and do this to all of my plants and basically just let whatever they have already fruited grow into a tomato for me. Now, all these tomatoes here on this side are all what's called an indeterminate. Those are the ones that just keep on growing. But these ones take a long time, say 80 days to start producing fruit. The thing with short season gardening is your indeterminate tomatoes will act pretty much the same as your determinate, because we don't have that extra 50-60 days for them to keep fruiting and keep growing tomatoes. We just have that limited window that we work with. So I just treat them like a determinate. I'm going to cut off all the ones on the bottom, let the ones grow at the top. Now your indeterminate tomatoes are going to produce a lot more suckers and keep trying to grow, so you might have to trim those a little more than your determinate. Over here I have my determinate tomatoes, and they pretty much look like my indeterminate tomatoes. And I'm going to prune them the same way. I'm going to go to the bottom, look for those suckers, trim off any of the leaves that are in the bottom foot of the plant, and then let the tops continue to grow. And lastly, depending on how close you planted your tomatoes, would be how much you really have to prune them. If you plant them really far apart, you might not have to do as much pruning. For me, I plant them very close together. I like my jungles. So I'm actually going to go through the top portion and just trim off some of the leaves in order to allow more airflow and more light to get to those tomatoes. So that's how I like to prune my tomatoes when I'm growing them in raised beds close together with my short season. Whether they're determinate or indeterminate, I do them the same way. And that is to trim off the leaves on the lower section, trim off all those suckers that are growing, as well as clean up the top parts so there's a little bit more airflow. Then we just have to wait for those tomatoes to ripen. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.